So what are the typical errors when it comes to the USP slide or the product slide? Very common, the USP is not well researched. As you can see by now, doing bad research, that's a pretty annoying thing, and it can basically harm the whole pitch deck. If you claim a USP that is actually not unique at all because the competition is doing exactly the same thing, that's really bad. Because if I can find it out, you could have found it out as well, and that's something that looks never really good. Again, that's also connected to giving the competition a fair assessment, by the way. So a USP should be really a USP. And also very common, the USP is based on the assumption that you will have massive amounts of money. That's very common, especially for companies that claim that their brand is so superior. Yeah, they show me a brand strategy that costs a couple of million. And by the way, that's not completely impossible to do it and to go for that. Not at all. But if you just assume that huge amounts of money will give you a competitive advantage, that's not really attractive. That doesn't sound really defensible, because some other investors might fund another company with even more money. Then what? Then their brand will be better. So that's not the best and not the most sustainable USP, if you want. Also very common, again, assuming too much knowledge of the audience. You can get technical in your USP description, and you should get more technical than before, but it shouldn't be too technical. Again, keep that in mind. Save that for later calls. There will be tech due diligence calls, for example, if you have a tech-heavy product, and then there will be deep dives into the tech. But in the beginning, you do not want to confuse the audience. You want to give them a simple understanding. As I said before, tease the reader, tease the audience. Talking about USPs that are not reality by now is also really common. Like the brand USP is one of these examples, but also if you claim that you have right now an algorithm that is pretty good, but it's not really better than the competition, then you claim, yeah, but if we acquire that much data, our algorithm will be better than any other algorithm out there. And that's not the best USP as well. As you can imagine, same argument, the competition is not sleeping as well usually, so they could achieve that as well, right? You should keep that in mind, and stick a little bit more to the present. Then it's also very common that there are products in the presentation that are not reality by now, or that won't become reality within the next 2 years. As I said before, of course, your company, you're shaping the future, so an outlook to the future is important. But if you have 2 products in your product portfolio, but only one of them is up and running and generating revenue, and the other one is not right now, you should make that clear. At least make that clear. Make that clear that this other product is not active right now, it's not generating revenue right now, and give some rough understanding of how much time is consumed by the product development of product 1 and how much is consumed by the development of product 2. When do you go on to shift the focus? What will be the split in the focus? So these are really important questions. Do not overload it with a product portfolio that does not exist at all, because that doesn't look good as well. That's it regarding the typical errors. In the next video, we will discuss the 2 Airbnb slides that come close to a USP slide, if you want, the product slide and the competitive advantages. See you then.